The executive orders that permitted the Dreamers and others to stay here. One of the things you wrote is that they are constructive and contributing members of our communities. They should be able to pursue their dream of higher education without fear of being arrested, deported. And you said that the program reflects the executive branch doing what it properly does every day, making decisions about how to best use resources within the framework of existing law. There's no reason to abandon these sensible priorities now. Tell us, the counter-argument, of course, is that this was done by executive order, and it is, obviously, elections have consequences. The people voted for Donald Trump knowing that he was going to cancel these executive orders and that his views of immigration were a very strong part of his mandate.
Well, he has said a lot of things about immigration, and the reason I think deferred action for childhood arrivals is called Daca. It was not a presidential order. It was actually a memorandum that I wrote as the secretary of the department, setting forth what he also said he wants, which is real priorities in the enforcement of our immigration laws. And taking this group of young people brought here as children, typically by a family member. They've grown up in the United States. They've done everything we want them to do. I mean, they've managed to get into schools like the University of California. They are in any sensible kind of stacking of priorities for deportation, the lowest priority. And what DACA reflects is a way to do a case-by-case review of each of those young people, and if they meet certain criteria, to defer action on them for 2 years. It can be renewed, but it also entitles them for work authorization.
And a number of them are in the military as well as in school. I've met a number of them along the way in Iraq and Afghanistan. Are you going to appeal directly to Donald Trump, or do you think President Obama can put this on his list of things where they are discussing what might be compromised now and trying to urge him to consider another option here?
I hope that President Obama is able to discuss this with President-elect Trump. I will share with you that this week, myself, the head of the Cal State University system and the head of the Cal Community College system, and I think amongst the three systems, we have a large number of undocumented students. We appealed directly to President-elect Trump. And again, if he's talking about, he wants to focus on violent felons and gang members and those who may be involved in terrorism, those are essentially the same priorities that DHS has had for years. And so to carry out those priorities, you've got to make sure that you're giving clear direction to ICE through the agency. And what DACA does is it says for this group of low, if any, risk young people who've had background checks, who've done everything we've asked of them, who are the kinds of kids we want to contribute to.
That's right, and you're gonna get votes from them.
Talents in their brains. These are not.
I'm gonna vote for you, girl.
Immigration enforcement.
I just upset that you didn't make it their citizenship go forward.
In writing, did you call the transition office? Did you call?
No, we didn't just pick up the phone and, hey, transition, we want to tell you something. No, we sent a letter.
What kind of communication?
Yes, and we sent a letter co-signed by the head of each of the three higher education segments in California. But I can speak for other leaders in higher education who also have DACA students who are uniform in saying, look, in many cases, these students have never been in their country of origin. They don't speak the language. They have no family or other connections in their countries of origin. So to deport them simply because they are deportable in any regime where you have to set priorities because you physically can't deport everybody, it makes no sense. So DACA aligns with good immigration enforcement policy, and it aligns with our values.
Well, I hope you'll let us know if you hear anything back from the president-elect on this.
It will.
Thank you very much, Napolitano. And coming up next, after the story.